Congressman Chris Pappas joining us from Washington. Congressman, you were there at the Capitol for the inauguration and the inaugural address. Just tell us, as you were listening to President Biden speak, what were you thinking about those words and the call for unity?
Well, I think those words will help get us off on the right foot as we begin this important new presidential term and as we get down to our work in Congress. There was a call for unity. I think President Biden appealed to the sense of patriotism that exists not just among the members of Congress, but lives in the hearts of the American people. And that's what I think this period needs to be about something bigger than any one individual, than any one political party. It's about putting the nation first. So that was the call from President Biden today. I think members of Congress will be wise to heed that call as we get down to the important business of addressing COVID-19 and the other issues ahead of us. And so I do think this was a unifying message. In addition to that, this is also about the ritual of our democratic processes and institutions. And there's some sense of normalcy that comes out of a day like this, where there is this peaceful transition of power, where we go through the motions of swearing in a new president. That means a lot, not just for the practical nature of it, but to show our country and the rest of the world that things will move forward, that there's continuity. And I think Joe Biden is the right person to lead this nation forward amidst so much tumultuousness. I think he can calm the passions that exist out there, bring this country together, and we need to be working with him and ensure that he's successful. There was a tremendous amount of collegiality that existed. Of course, this was an event that didn't have members of the general public here because of COVID. So it was largely dignitaries, members of Congress, their spouses, and invited guests. And so there was basically a couple hours of people milling about and talking and getting to know one another a little bit better, meeting new colleagues, talking about the importance of this day. And whether you're a Democrat or a Republican, this is a day you should be celebrating. I think Roy Blunt said it in his opening remarks that there may be one political party that is maybe a little bit less happy or more disappointed about the outcome of the election. But this is about something bigger. And I think the conversations today were great. Hopefully that opens the door for us to actually get down to work and get some things done in an important fashion. And as I said before, this is about making sure that not just Joe Biden is successful, but that our country is successful. We need some wins for the American people right now. And the only way to achieve that is by listening to one another, by having deliberations, and by coming to agreement that can move this nation forward.